check the packaging of the wire that you buy. It will usually have the type of crimp tube or crimp bead that is compatible with that type of wire. Go ahead and trim your wire. I am making a 7-inch bracelet in this tutorial, so I will be trimming the wire to just over 9 inches. Now it's time to make our bracelets. Take one of your crimp tubes and thread them on to one side of the wire. Now take your closed jump ring and thread the wire through the closed jump ring. Now that you have the crimp tube and the jump ring on the wire, you're going to take that little tail of wire and you're going to loop it around the jump ring and thread it through the crimp tube. Now it's time to crimp the tube bead. First, you're going to separate the wires as you see here. When you crimp the bead, it will create two little channels in the bead, and you want to make sure that the wire is going through each channel. You don't want it squished together on one side. Take your crimping pliers and you will note that there are two sections on your pliers. There's one that looks like a half moon and there's one that's round. We're going to start with the half moon. Place your crimp bead in your pliers and make sure that there isn't part of the tube bead sticking out on either side. If you do not center it, it will not crimp correctly. Press down once you have it centered, and that is the first step of the crimp. Once you have completed this step, ensure that the wire is going through each channel of the tube bead before you proceed. Now we will move on to the second step of the crimp. Turn your crimp tube so that the creased side is facing away from you and the smooth side, the back of the crimp, is facing toward you. You will put your crimp tube in the forward channel of the crimping pliers and press down. Now we will go ahead and string our bracelet. You can use whatever kind of beads you like, but I just used these pretty green ones for this tutorial. Now this little tail on the edge here, you're going to want that wire to go through the first couple of beads. This will just give a little bit of extra strength towards that crimp and clasp. So go ahead and string your beads. Make sure that you tuck that wire in. Once you have a couple of beads on, you can go ahead and trim that wire. 2 should be plenty, especially with these size of beads. You don't want to have too many beads that are double wired, because then it can make the shape of the bracelet look a little wonky. You also don't want to snip the wire right up at the bead. You want a little bit of extra that will go into the next bead. Otherwise, what could happen is that wire could poke out, and that wouldn't be very comfortable. Now, just continue stringing on the rest of your beads, and we will go on to the next step. Once you have finished stringing on all your beads, we will now prepare the clasp. We will attach the spring clasp to the jump ring. Then just simply close the jump ring. Set your clasp aside, take your crimp tube, and thread it onto the other side of the wire. Now you will take that jump ring with the clasp attached and you will thread it onto the wire with the crimp beads. Now loop the wire like we did in the first step on the other side of the bracelet, around the jump ring and through the crimp bead, and just give it a little tug. Now you're going to take that wire tail and you're going to thread it through the first couple of beads, just as we did on the other side. Now it's a little bit trickier on this side because you have all of your beads on the wire now, so you will just have to kind of keep adjusting that crimp bead in the wire, trying to get it closer to the beads, and it just takes a little practice and working with it, and then it becomes very simple. Now simply snip that excess wire. Remember to leave a little extra away from the bead. And what you want to do here is you'll just want to take your finger and kind of tuck the wire in a little bit so it'll go through that third bead. Give everything a little bit of an adjustment, and you're ready now to crimp. Place the crimp bead in the back channel of your crimping wires. Press down, and if you've done it correctly, you will be left with a perfect crease down the middle of your crimp bead. So just double check to make sure that is what you have. Then you're going to flip it over so that the smooth side of the crimp bead is facing you. And you're going to place your crimp bead in the front channel of your crimping pliers. Make sure it's centered and press down. Congratulations, you are now done with your new bracelet. Go and enjoy it or give it as a gift and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy your day.